This is my religion assignment for term 3. So this is Pete.
Hi.
He's 61 and he's Catholic. So the first question is about falling Mass attendance. So what is your perspective on falling Mass attendance?
Okay. I think often people who hold a strong sense of faith in their hearts, they come away from Mass frustrated that they don't get enough out of going to Mass anymore. Going to Mass should be spiritually enriching, and everybody from children right through to adults should be able to receive that enrichment. And I think that Mass can be a little bit boring actually.
So is that for the priests, as in the homilies, or?
Yeah, just the whole experience. I think, it's good if there's factors like music and singing as well. But I just think that in a lot of churches, the Mass just gets boring. It's not invigorating enough, and you don't come away feeling spiritually enriched after that. You feel like you've just gone to Mass. It does give you the opportunity to be able to pray and to reflect on the week and get yourself ready for the following week. So, a lot of it sort of depends on the individual, but also I don't think the Mass, as it is, provides a strong enough vehicle for people to be able to really come away enriched from going to Mass.
Right, thank you. And why do you think this is happening? Well, you said before it was boring, but
Yeah.
any further?
Well, like I said, also there's people who consider themselves as Catholics, but they have quite a weak faith, I would say. They still go to Mass occasionally, and they go there expecting something to happen. And of course they leave Mass feeling like they have not gotten anything out of the Mass. Right. And to use an old cliche, you have to put in to be able to get something out of it. And by this I mean that people need to have a strong personal desire to have a strong spiritual side of themselves. If you have this desire, the Mass should be the fertiliser to help you strengthen and invigorate your desire for stronger, richer faith. So this work comes back to it comes back to the individual, and you have to want to have a strong sense of faith and appreciate that. And if you have that, you will always get something out of the Mass. But in the other case, where people just sort of go through the process of going to Mass on a Sunday, expecting something to happen, they're going to come. They're the people that are lost, really, and are like lost sheep. But what you have to do, what these people have to do, is they have to invigorate their desire to strengthen their faith within their own, in their own body, and then they will start to get something more from Mass. And if the Mass is more invigorating, more uplifting, it will encourage them to come back more, and they will leave with a much stronger feeling of empowerment.
Right, that's very nice. So what do you think we should do as Catholics to bring the numbers back up? Right,
well, like I said just a little while ago as well, I think music is such an important part of the Mass.
So contributing?
Yes, and it's a great way of praying and proclaiming your faith. I'd like to see an increase in music that really gets your heart pumping, and also singing your praises. There is a great abundance now of great Christian music and gospel music that would get people up and singing. And I think with these Christian radio stations now that just sing about the praise of Jesus and to God, and we. You don't want to, considering the older people in the congregation, you don't want to have sort of rock and roll music or too much rap music. But where a lot of churches, of course, have youth masses, there's even rap artists that do really good music for Christian faith. And as well as that, there's great songs that you can sort of sing along to as well. And like the churches that I've got great memories of, churches that have had this really strong component of music, and also somebody to lead that music, and also to get the people at the congregation involved. And to use dance, I would love to see that become a part of the Mass. It
Right.
doesn't have to be, you know, break dancing or anything
Yeah,
fancy like that, but just to get people clapping their hands and getting them, you know, moving in the congregation. Because I think, you know, people sit down, they stand up, they kneel down, you know. But if there was just something a little bit more invigorating, this would make the whole experience more invigorating.
Right.
People getting involved in the singing, introducing dancing as well, clapping their hands together. Let's all get into it.
Right. Right. So the next is same-sex marriage. What do you think about same-sex marriage?
Right, same-sex marriage. When God created a partner for Adam, he created Eve, not another Adam, okay? This is the perfect partner. This means the perfect partnership, as shown by God, requires a level of difference as well as similarity. Now, I believe in equality, but I'm really sitting on the fence on this issue. As a civil service, I agree with same-sex marriage, but I'm still sitting on the fence. We're all equal, and it does no harm to society for same-sex people to get married. As it is a law reform, it does not really affect the churches yet, I think. Okay, I'm not 100% sure on that. If I met someone who was gay, I would treat them as I would treat anybody else. So, like I said, I'm sitting on the fence with this.
Yeah.
I think that the law reforms have to change first, which is a political issue, and then the churches would go further from there or take it from there.
All right. Thank you. So, do you think the church should allow same-sex marriage like countries have?
I'd say no. Okay, there are only a few churches that condone same-sex marriage in the world at the moment, and I would not rush into it until the legalities are decided by the politicians. Okay, so yeah, I'd say no.
So, no.
Yeah.
So, what about female ordination? Do you think women should be ordained?
Mate, even though Jesus chose 12 males as the apostles, I'm a firm believer in gender equality. Anything a man can do should be available to women to do as well.
So, that's just equality.
Equality, intelligence, education, aptitude in teaching, compassion, patience and tolerance. There is no reason to refuse women who want to give their life to the priesthood.
Right. And so, do you think it would affect the church?
I'm not too sure, but there may be obstacles and changes to the canon law in regard to women moving into higher offices such as bishops. You need to have a sense of calling to become a priest. And I think that women priests would affect the church in a very positive way. But I'm just not too sure about the senior officers within, and whether or not they'd have to change canon law and the complications in that regard. But as far as allowing women to be ordained as priests, I fully support it.
Okay, thank you.
All right.